Tokyo, Japan, 2012. The engineering and electronics company Hitachi reveals a revolutionary data storage device, a quartz glass chip, which will preserve encoded information for millions of years.
Hitachi announced some very exciting breakthroughs in etching data into actual quartz crystal type materials. And so by figuring out a way to burn little holes in the quartz using high-powered lasers, you've now created your ones and zeros. And they were actually doing it at a scale where you can just look at it with a microscope and see the ones and zeros and read it out.
I would not exclude that in a crystal skull there is a message, because we can make the most modern little chips out of crystals. So I really suggest it has to do something with extraterrestrials. Maybe there is information in the crystal skull, but we have not the technology to reach this information. This is a question of the future.
Modern science has researched and explored the use of quartz crystal in cutting-edge technology and communication. But some ancient astronaut theorists believe that there is evidence that the ancients also recognized the potential of this uniquely conductive mineral.
Quartz is said to be able to hold power, to be able to absorb energy. It's been suggested that maybe the ancients used quartz to somehow hoard things in some way that we don't quite understand, or possibly not to record so much, but to tap into other realms, or to be able to use as communication devices.
Certain types of receivers, crystal radios, television sets, other types of communication, and even power for spaceships can be done through quartz crystals. NASA even does special experiments in space where they want to grow perfect quartz crystals. So the idea of quartz crystal technology being used by extraterrestrials as kind of high-tech technology makes a lot of sense.
What we know as a fact is that crystal is able to store information. So what we need to ask ourselves is whether crystal skulls were made out of crystal because our ancestors wanted to put information in them. Well, we might not have a means of extracting it. I think we really require it for ourselves to try and make an effort to see what kind of information might be present within these crystal skulls.
When we hear these stories about having to bring together all those crystal skulls, where does this premise come from, this idea that they have to come together and then something important happens? Well, could it be that each crystal skull might be some type of a computer chip, and that they belong to some motherboard of some extraterrestrial computer, and that the only way it works if all those skulls come together?